Having discussed about the absorption of water that included both active and passive absorption, now we are going to see that after that absorption, what is the pathway that the water movement has taken. Okay, so you know that from the root hair the water is absorbed, then it passes on to the anatomical aspects that we had discussed. Inside the root only, you know that outermost was the root hair, the cell that was in contact with the soil itself, followed by cortical layers of the cortex, which included the parenchymatous cells. Then we had some cells of pericycle, I'm sorry, not pericycle, it was endodermis. And mind you, it had a Casparian strip, that was a suberized layer which was present in the endodermis. And lastly, we had xylem that was present, followed by the pericycle cells. Endodermis was followed by pericycle. So these are the 4 layers that you have to keep in mind. Now this root hair, as you know, it is that elongation of the epidermis only. From there the water enters due to osmotic considerations. That is how the absorption takes place. It could be active or it could be passive absorption. The 2 forces would be varying, whether it is the negative pull that is taking up the water, or it is a positive push that is enabling the movement of water. So from root hair, it would the water would pass to the cortical layers, then the endodermis layer will come, where we have Casparian strips, and from there it would be passed on to xylem, which is a tube-like structure, and from where it would be pulled up to the leaves, all through the leaves into the plant anatomy. Now, if you cannot relate with it, do watch the lesson where we have discussed the anatomy of root. Now, in the passage that water would take place, there are 3 possibilities that can occur. The first one is the apoplast pathway that water can take. Then there is symplast, and the last one is a type of symplast only, which involves the vacuoles of the individual cells, which would be involved for absorption. Now from apoplast, you have to keep in mind that this is a non-living pathway. Now when I say non-living, in the plant cells there are certain regions which are non-living, and you know that that particular region is the cell wall, which is non-living. Apart from cell wall, there are intercellular spaces. So apoplast pathway is going to include that particular movement or passage of water where the cell does not enter the protoplasm. Keep in mind, the protoplasm, where the water does not enter the protoplasm of the cell. Water is not going to enter the protoplasm. Instead, it is going to take the passage where the cell wall and intercellular spaces would be involved. Alright. Now, intercellular spaces, as you know, they are non-living. So, such would be the apoplastic pathway, like this. Over here, like this, the water is going to move. It is not going to enter any of the living area of the cell. That means it is not going to interact with the protoplasm, and this is the fastest possible passage that is being offered to water through the anatomy of root so that it enters xylem. This thing is to be kept in mind. Apoplastic pathway is not involving any living region. Okay, so it gives minimum restraint to the movement of water. That means apoplast is the fastest one. The second one is symplast. Now in symplast, you have to remember that instead of non-living, it would involve living protoplasm through which the water is going to move. Now, when protoplasm is involved, the cell has plasma membrane. So, the water would pass through the plasma membrane. The plasmodesmatal connections would be taken care of. It would go like this. The protoplasm and plasmodesmatas of the cell would be involved. Okay, the water, according to its osmolarity, would move into the protoplasm, the interconnected protoplasms through plasmodesmata. As you can see, I'm going to do the labeling as well. It is going to pass through this passage. This green representation shows the symplastic pathway, which shows that the living zone of the cell or of the root would be involved in making the water pass through it. And as you can see, this is the cell wall, All right. Now this membrane represents plasma membrane. And the last type of passage that is being provided, the pathway that the water can take is through vacuole. So we have a vacuolar membrane also, and this region which is emptily represented over here, it shows the vacuole. Now what would be the passage in the case of vacuolar symplast? Now in the case of vacuolar symplast, the living content would be involved, where each cell would be acting like a small osmotic entity, okay, and there would be involvement of vacuolar sap. So the water that has to move from one cell to another would go like this. This would be the passage that it is going to take place. It would enter the vacuolar sap, osmotic entity, tiny osmotic entity, each cell is going to act like, and so on, the water would move on. Now do keep in mind that water prefers symplastic apoplastic pathway through root hair and the cortical layers which have intercellular spaces present between them. When it reaches the endodermis, because the endodermis cells have Casparian strip layer which is not permeable to water, it is a suberized layer, the water has to enter the symplastic passage and then it moves on to xylem, which is again apoplastic. So actual passage of water involves apoplastic and symplastic movement both. In the case of positive pressure, that is root pressure, the single cell acts as an osmotic entity and enables the vacuolar symplast. I hope you get an idea what apoplast and symplast is. One thing you have to keep in mind, that apoplast would be non-living passage while symplast would be living passage, and the movement would involve cell wall and intercellular spaces in the case of apoplast. In the case of symplast, living protoplasm would be involved, and plasmodesmatal connections, that is the connection between two cells, two plant cells where cell wall is absent. It is sort of a passage for the protoplasm, and continuity of protoplasm is maintained. Through that the water movement will take place. The green arrows represent the symplastic pathway, and the last one is the vacuolar symplast, where the vacuoles, which include the cell sap inside it, the individual cell would act as an osmotic entity and the passage of water would take place. So this is all about the various pathways that are involved when the absorption of water takes place by the root.